Do-do-do-do-do-do. Hey, you know what would happen if you were a photojournalist and we're not talking about Photoshop here, okay? You know, if you're a photojournalist and you're only interested in telling the truth with your photography, you would quickly get fired. Here's a perfect example. Of course, I see this a million times, but I'm reminded of it every once in a rare while when I turn on the news. Like if some important person's giving a press conference, no one, there'll be like 30 photographers in front of them, and no one will take a picture if they're just, the person to take a picture of is just, you know, blah, 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 blah. They only take pictures, and of course you could hear this. You could hear the mirrors flapping, the flappy mirrors and the shutters go chick, 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 chick. When a person does something dramatic, like when they're talking before a committee or something, or giving a conference, there'll be dead silence on the cameras, which you can't see. But as soon as a person does something dramatic with their hands or their face, like, then the cameras go. You know this is true. You've seen it 1,000 times. I laugh my ass off every time someone says photography is about telling the truth, and that is absolute 100% BS, poppycock, bullfritters, nonsense, twaddle, absolute unicorn fart BS. It's just not true. For example, in product photography, you're supposed to make things look the best. Like when someone hires you to take pictures of their motel so they could put it on Expedia or something like that, they will fire your ass if you take accurate photos. If you take accurate photos, like if you go to take an interior shot, the one thing on an interior shot is you bring yourself a nice wide angle. Yeah, and you remove the distortion in post-production in Lightroom, Photoshop, or Capture One. If you would take like a normal lens and like take a picture of an interior, you would not get paid. You're supposed to make that room, that tiny little Roach Motel room, look really big by using a nice wide angle. And when you take a picture of like a dumpy motel, you don't accentuate its reality, you accentuate what it is you're being paid to do, which is lie. Photography is always about lying, whether conscious or subconsciously. No one ever takes a picture. When someone actually sends you out on an assignment, what they don't tell you, unless you're specifically told that, is when to click the shutter and where to click the shutter. Yeah, you point that you're not being paid to tell the truth in photography. Whether you're doing that freelance or whether you're being paid to do a job like product, corporate, fashion, or no one's paying you to tell the truth. You know, like someone takes a picture of like a sexy chick for the cover of a magazine, and like the chick is wearing like this $1 million dress or whatever, and she's got her hands over her head. You don't post that for the cover of some famous, another person that does fashion photography might be watching this. You don't post that exact picture. You got somebody in Photoshop that's like airbrushing out her armpit stubble. Yeah. You know, yeah. Photography is not about reality. It is about drama and excitement. What you're doing is you have a picture in your mind of what you want something to be, and whether that be in post-production or where you're taking the photograph, you choose when to take the shot, you choose where to take it, how far you're zoomed in or zoomed out, either with your feet or the lens, specifically if it's a prime, where you stand, where the lighting goes, what the lighting accentuates. You can take the most beautiful person in the world and give them shit lighting and make them look like a monster, right? Yeah, or you could take an ugly person, and of course they're paying you for a portrait shot, for example, and drop some nice soft light box light on them. And then Photoshop out all her zits and her wrinkles and her... This is the reason why ring lights are so great. You don't have to do much post-production. The great thing about ring lights is it will take 20 years off your wrinkled puss face. I had a buddy who died of cancer, and he was making money hand over fist with the ABR 800 ring light of wrinkled old broads, as he would say. Because it took 20 years off of your face. Yes, it's one of the advantages of a ring light. If you don't want to... it's better to do something in the shot than it is in post-production, even if you're lightning fast with Photoshop. So photography is not about reality. Every time people talk about photos being fake, I'm like, shut the hell up. Every aspect of photography is fakery. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, you are showing people what you want it to be, or you're paid. You know, no one's paying you to tell the truth. There's never been someone like, say, I take pictures of my motel so you can put it up on Expedia or Travelocity. I want you to tell the truth. You know, go Go, go in and take a picture of the rat droppings in the corner of the hotel room. No one, that's never happened. You're supposed to make these dumpy small rooms look big and nice, and you Photoshop them. You drag the contrast slider and the saturation, and you mask it off, and you throw some evening light. You make, you know, you're not there for reality. Photography is not about reality, even if it's photojournalism. Back in the days of photojournalism, when people were killing each other, there's a great movie about this, by the way. It's called The Private Eye, about early photojournalism. And the photographers would like slap a baby or pinch him really hard to get him to cry because it created drama in the photograph. And or they'd actually do countless other unscrupulous things. They would like pay the cop a couple bucks when they're taking a picture of a dead body to like pose it a certain way to make it look more dramatic. And then that's what... No one pays for reality in photography. They just don't. Photography has never been about reality. When Ansel Adams, and here's a perfect example, would take pictures of the waterfalls, and by the way, Ansel Adams, like about 20% of his stuff is really awesome, but I don't know if you've seen a large selection of Ansel Adams' work when we had to look at all that crap in photography school. Some of his work is just incredible, obviously so. But like 70% of his work is just like, it just sucks. But when Ansel Adams would do post-production, when pushing the film, and you know, dodging and burning when he's making his print, I mean, that's not about reality. You know, it's about making what you want to appear to be manifest. I mean, you're doing time exposures, you're doing all sorts of tricks, ND filters, gradated ND filters, circular polarizers. You know, you're in Photoshop, you're in Lightroom, you're dodging, burning, masking, layering. Photography has never been about reality. You know, that's like saying fiction writing is about telling the truth. It's like, what the F are you talking about? You know, fiction writing is about telling the truth? Well, photography, you know, pictures don't lie. Oh man, that's my favorite one. People say shit like that. Nobody really says that anymore. Well, a picture doesn't lie. Yeah. You notice nobody says that shit anymore? Because people have kind of caught on. Now everybody questions everything. Even if you take a real picture and it's really fantastical, people will be like, that's Photoshopped. That can't be real. Oh my God. Photography is not about reality. Never has been. I love it when people are so worried about dynamic range, and then they go and foreshorten the dynamic range in post-production. And they're worried about vignetting, but they go and add vignetting in post-production. Isn't that funny? I think it's really funny. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you like these videos. If you do, you can click on the link below. Tell me how much you hate me. You know, tell me to go jump off a cliff. You know, something like that. Whatever makes you happy. And thank you. Goodbye.